Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pilot episode of a new age platform. We have Javi Cruz to my right. We have Kai to my left. We have Nia, who will be joining us soon. And we have myself, Multi the Phoenix Warrior. So, we'll be discussing, the start of Great Chicago Fire, the band that we're a part of, as well as our individual journeys in arts, music, and entertainment. So, without further ado, let's go back to the beginning, shall we? So, this band started in 2019. Nia and I are as far as the vocalists go, are the only original vocalists that are still here. Javi came in the picture in 2020, like right after COVID hit. And he was our keys player for a while. And then he ended up, and Adam was turning to on probation. And then he ended up becoming a vocalist for us. So he's been doing that since, 2020?
Yeah, it was a good vision, because at first I started with the piano.
Yeah.
2020, good vision. But then they saw, you know what, let's see how flexible you can be. Right. Play around and see what parts you're comfortable with.
Right.
Found that vocals were stuck with.
And I had already knew that you could sing, because I heard you jazz pop, because I worked with all the bands and stuff in jazz pop at Harold Washington College. So I already knew he could sing, and I had been telling Adam, I'm like, yo, he can sing. You should have him sing. He's like, Adam, no, let's see what we do first. I gotta hear him, but we didn't have the time because he was working on other stuff in that time. But when he heard him, Adam literally I don't think I told you this. Adam was like, yo, he can sing. We should have him be one of our singers. I was like, that's what I've been telling you this whole time. But I'm glad you're finally on board. Well, that's how Javi became the singer of GCF. And then we have Kai over here. So I think about 2 years prior to, or no, not even two, maybe a year prior to the band starting, and 2 years prior to her becoming a part of the band. She's on there? Okay, cool. Then 2 years prior to her being a part of the band, she had been, we've been following each other on Snapchat, and I seen she's into music and she's been studying music and whatnot. So I'm like, definitely get this girl on board, get her a part of this. And we needed a singer for an event. And then I reached out to her and I asked her, and then she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then we have Kai a part of GCF now. So yeah. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let them discuss it. Oh, and then Nia, who was here from the start, who's here now. Hi, Nia.
Nia.
So she, again, one of the original members of GCF, had not really into the same thing fully at that time, but she's definitely come a long way. And as we discovered in one of our rehearsals, she's basically the melody. She helps tie us together when it comes to vocals and everybody knowing who they are. So, but again, enough of me talking. Without further ado, I don't know, who wants to go first and tell their backstories?
I guess I'll go first.
All right,
so, yes, like Akil was saying, we have been following each other for a couple years, but with me, I had a prior experience in college with, music. I went to college for music and a minor in psychology. And of course, along with that, I was already in a cappella groups here and there, still I guess playing around whether I do want to take being a performing artist seriously, especially after college. I was always hesitant about it because I'm but what if it doesn't work out, blah, 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 but I don't know, as soon as I got back from college, when I was done with it, I was just hey, what's stopping me? Let me take this leap of faith, because why not? You only have this one chance, really, to have your dreams go. And this is for anybody, basically. Yeah, you could do a 9-to-5 job, whatever, but at the same time, if you're passionate about something, do that shit. Even if it's just wanting to be a dancer, being an artist, creating your own art, even just being a rapper here and there. What is stopping you? Fear is stopping you, and you gotta let go of that fear. So when he asked me whether I wanted to join the band, I was hell yeah, why not? Because I've always wanted to join a band, number one, you know, is my niche, R&B type covers. Then I'm also like connecting with other artists in the city as well. And like with Chicago, like our shit be busting. We have like a booming ass music scene, bro.
Yeah.
So
Always have too.
period. We've always had that shit. Great Chicago Fire.
Yay.
So
Hey.
Great Chicago Fire. So like, why not? And I think being a part of this band, it was definitely a learning experience for me. It really taught me like how to create, you know, take my craft more seriously as well. And like, it really just made me more appreciative of like, you know, it made me more appreciative like to the music I've always wanted to get into. Because like, of course, in college, like, not saying that like studying music is boring, but like when you study music theory, it's mostly European.
Yeah.
It's mostly European studies.
Yeah.
With this, like you're really in your own element. You get to move, you get to flow, do whatever you want. So like being able to get this opportunity, like I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for all y'all, you, Javier, this podcast. You know, this shit is lit. So that is my story. And Javier, would you like to go next? I bet.
Well, speaking of in your element, you know, your name means fire, so it kind of fit perfectly for this job.
Yeah.
That
It literally
shouts
all
out to-
came together. And then when I found that out, I was like, holy shit. Like,
You know, y'all know what's funny? Because it means water in Japanese.
Mhm.
So,
And then we right here by the
Fire
water.
It's love, water, all types of shit.
There's all types of shit. It's
like
a
energy.
creative conundrum.
Yeah.
Which is what a band is. It's a creative conundrum, actually. So that's funny. That should be the definition of band, creative conundrum. All right, you can go ahead.
Yeah, without further ado, before I get back into the past, I want to appreciate the present. You know, I'm also grateful and thankful for all the people I met along the journey. You know, we don't have everyone here, but Akil, first off, thank you. I remember meeting him in like Harold Washington when I was trying to go to a rehearsal room, and I was like, oh snap, I need a room. Could you hook me up? And Akil was like working on some beats. He was messing with the systems. I was like, dude, this dude looks so cool. He's like messing with all this stuff. I was like, that's goals right there. I'm gonna learn one day to be like that. And he's like, I got you here. And he took me to the room, came back, and we started like talking more. And it turns out we knew a lot of the same people, and we got more interconnected. Danny from Division Point. Shout out Danny, a good friend of mine. Actually, kind of linked us even closer together, and we really started talking. And he told me about an opportunity that they needed a keyboardist. So back to the past, how I kind of started, you know, music, art, dance, and that's always been a part of my life. Any form of expressionism is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's like my bread and butter. Like, I've been playing piano since about 4 or 5 years old. My mom, I'm thankful for it. We could afford like about a year piano, and I took classes, but I managed to get a free piano from a school because my grandmother worked as a teacher at the time, and they were getting rid of an old piano. So we ended up moving that to one of the houses I lived at, and I always practiced on that. No matter, even if I didn't have any like computer or like a teacher, I would listen to different music and try to copy it off by ear. And that really grew as my skills grew, as my discipline grew. And the same thing with my voice. I was kind of nervous, always really a shy person about music until about quarantine, when one, I discovered or rediscovered guitar and really went ham into it, and really put everything I could into busking and to sharing my music with the people. Because let's just say, when you have a lot of alone time and there's a lot of things going on in the world, plus a bad breakup, you got a lot of emotion. What better way to display that than with music?
Right. Bad breakups and music go hand in hand.
Right?
Adele, every Adele album is dealing with breakups and stuff like that. Even the last one with her divorce, it's like it goes hand in hand. It makes great. Unfortunately, it makes great music. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe it makes people dive more into their emotions.
Yep.
To pluck out and bring out those heartstrings to make those songs.
Yep.
Or just be creative. I don't know. It sucks, but something comes in the beauty, you know?
It does. With pain comes prosperity. You get past it. Just gotta pass it, bro. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of in a nutshell about how I've been with this music journey. You know, going out with different bands. I'm in a few, but this is the one that I've stuck with the most out of all the bands. I gotta say, this is the one that's felt the most right. I feel like I've never felt an ounce of disrespect or any sort of like bad vibe, and that's kind of a thing you suffer with some bands. Like, you can make good music together, but not everybody's good chemistry wise. or let's say you just don't share the same vision. And I feel like everyone's input in this band is truly listened to. Yeah, there's like a general direction we're all heading towards, but we're all appreciative of the stepping stones on the way to get there. So again, I want to thank everybody here. Shouts out to everyone on live. Shouts out to Nia. We love you. And also whoever's going up next. I don't know if she's going up next or if you.
If we can actually get Nia to be heard, let me see real quick.
Let's see what's going on.
And we're going to keep all of this in the podcast too. Is Nia still on here? It's no sound. I don't know. Can you hear us now? It's okay. It's just for video, so we'll be fine. Anywho, here, you can hold that back. We'll probably do a thing where we'll bring Nia on herself, and we just talk to Nia or just talk to Nia or whatever. Yeah, I'll take this. So, what? Actually, so I was gonna say somebody should call Nia and just do it like that. But I remember. My other thought process. I want to ask you actually. Did you have it in your head that you wanted to be in a band at all?
Absolutely.
You did?
Honestly, that's always been my main goal. I've always wanted to be in a band. You know, whether it's like backup vocals or just like
that scenery, that setting of just being a part of something that's outside of just, you know, because we all individually do music and pursue music and stuff like that, but there is a different togetherness that comes with being in a band. Whether it's like you say, you do have those bands where people bump heads and stuff like that, and it's still like the feel of like all in the band. It's like Jonas Brothers type stuff.
No, and it's just like it's such a different vibe because like, I mean, I don't know if acapella groups are like bands, but like I was in an acapella group like in college. It was like this group called Euphonics from my sophomore to my senior year. You know, but like I think towards my senior year it wasn't the right fit due to like personal conflicts. And on top of that, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like most of the stuff that we were singing was a little bit too white for me. And it's nothing, and I'm not trying to diss. It's nothing wrong with that, but like
it didn't have that soul.
We need like as a person of color, black woman, I need some soul. I need some soul, some umph. So
need something that make you get up and shake that ass.
Exactly, something to shake that ass. So like now where you have like the band and not just with singing, but like with drums, with guitar, with bass, and like with people that really know their shit and know how to play, like it just adds up. So
well, shout out to our musicians for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge shout out to our musicians for being able to keep that tight and keep it together. That's Keith, that's Adam, that's LJ. At times it's been Brent. And shout out to Diego as well. Definitely going to get him on with us. He's our original drummer. He when we had our first performance. Well, we've had two first performances actually.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So our first performance was literally the day that everything shut down in the States because of COVID. Like that, it was in March. That Friday, we had a performance. We were going, and our guitar player at the time, Mateus, he called and he was like, "Yo, they just shut down the event because of COVID." And like all of us were in the car heading there, probably like halfway there. And we're like, what? So what we ended up doing, this was before you joined. So what we ended up doing was we just turned back around. We went back to the college, went back to the studio, and we just had a jam session and ate Beggar's Pizza. That's literally what we did that day. And it was a beautiful moment. We enjoyed it. We just hung out. We just chilled. We just jammed and was able to still at least perform, even though we didn't have a performance, you know? So yeah, we got to do that. So yeah, did you always want to be in a band too?
I'm gonna tell you a little bit of something. I'm gonna be real with you. I've always been an entertainer. I've always been an attention whore. That's just how it's been for my entire life. I love making people happy. I love making people smile more than anything. I love bringing a good time. And there's like this picture of me that I love. I have of my grandma. Like took of me. It's of me in sunglasses and a toy guitar. I'm like 3 years old. And I'm just like on a bed, like not even smiling. I'm just like cool, you know. And then it's funny because I really I really never really thought music was gonna be the way. I always was into art as well. I did tattoo designs for people, business logos, band like covers, stuff like a lot of different things. And I've been thinking about building my fashion brand. Shouts out BBGH. You know, it's gonna in the making, coming soon. But otherwise, I thought that was gonna be the route. But I've always been more of an extrovert. I love dancing. I love talking with people. The thing about art is that it takes a lot of isolation in. Same thing with music. There is a lot of isolation in it where you're practicing and you're like honing your craft, and that's why I always found it for me. I never really had it be about a whole bunch of different people, because for me it was a very personal thing, music. I never saw myself sharing it until, like I said, my journey around quarantine started. I was like, you know, everyone's telling me I'm decent at these things, maybe I should take it more seriously because I do love it. And they say if you love something and you do it for work, you're never going to work a day in your life.
Right.
So I really wanted to go forward with it, even though I was a little bit shy. Because, fun fact, second grade talent show did not make the cut. Solo performance did not make the cut. But guess what? We're out here doing performances everywhere.
GCF, he made the cut.
I made the cut. And, like, even with other bands, too, you know, it's been a great experience. I've been going out of the States for music, and there's something different about the cohesion of, what was the phrase we used? Because it was beautiful. I love the way we said it. It's just an amalgamation of different energies, and that chemistry, that reaction is the evidence of fucking passion, motivation, and consistency.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even forget about dedication.
Yeah.
Because that is what this band represents to me the most, especially Akil. Every time I see him, he's always working on something to evolve the band, to push it further to the next level, making plans for the next 6 months, making plans for the next 6 years. Bro's like ahead of the game. And it really changed the way I thought about music and how I wanted to really take it seriously, put my all into it. Because a lot of people think it's a pipe dream. But if you want it that bad, all you got to do is go get it, baby.
Yeah. And the thing about pipe dream, just like a pipe bomb, when it blows up, you know. So it's like I don't mind it. Like and part of the reason why I didn't even get into me yet, because I mean, it's not about me. For me, it's not really about me. It's about all of it, you know. But my reasoning for starting and getting into this stuff, and I make statuses and stuff about it often. Like every year, I at least make a status once about it. But my siblings were my initial reason for doing all of this, for getting into music, for the aspect of not even the music, but the dream aspect, to show all of them, no matter what it is you want to do, as long as you got the passion, you believe in yourself, you can do it. Like, period, no matter what it is. And for me, that impossible thing seems to be music. For most people, it's music. Like, it's like you're not going to make money, you're not going to do anything. It's like I say all the time, and I talk with my mom about it. Well, not all the time, but I've spoken with her about it before. And it's like, when I first started, I was like my brother's age when I decided, like in my head, like I was going to pursue the artist portion, the artist side of arts, music, and entertainment. As far as being a vocalist and a writer and everything like that. And you have that initial thing, like as a parent, like, okay, you can do anything you put your mind to type thing, but it wasn't taken seriously by a lot of people, and I understood why. But that didn't stop me or deter me from it. I'm like, I'm gonna keep going and do what I'm gonna do, you know? And so what the result ended up being is that I had to motivate my siblings, who's right here holding the camera, like I'm tired, that if you want to be a part of any of this, then you gotta have the dedication, like you just said.
Shouts out to all the siblings. Love you, man.
Right.
Big bro loves you.
All of the siblings, because we do this for y'all. So y'all can see y'all can be more than the world you're born into. Be more than the life you're born into. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And then when my daughter was born, it took me to a whole nother gear. When she was born, I'm like, shift gears. Now I got to do it for her and build everything for her as well. and it ended up working out, or it has been working out. Last year is the first time in my 21-year career now that I've actually been able to use all the skill sets that I've learned and acquired in one freaking year. The first time ever. And just to be able to do that it's been truly a blessing, and you all being a part of it has been great, and I'm fortunate and blessed to have y'all here with me, even right now doing this podcast, and even going forward in the future for everything else we have going on.
We love you, Akil.
I love you all too. There's a tear in my eye. Ric Flair says, with the tear in my eye.
That's why I'm wearing glasses so you can't
There's
tell.
a tear right here in this building, because it's a beautiful thing. But I don't know. Any final words before we wrap up?
Don't give up on your dreams, y'all.
Wait,
Chase it.
say it again.
Don't give up on your dreams. Keep chasing that until your fucking legs are gone, until every essence of your being has said, nah, I'm gone, I'm done. Because till you put your 110% with every fiber of your being, and then you fail, you can't say you truly did your best. And I don't know about you, I'd rather die doing something I love and trying my hardest than die regretting that I never gave it a true chance.
What's my last words? Make love, make art, make memories, live in the moment. Eliminate fear. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let anybody stop you from pursuing whatever you want to be. Even if you want to be Bozo the clown on the street or something, like, do that shit.
Yeah,
Do that
it. That's
shit.
your passion. Do it.
Do that. That's my final words.
In my last word, I would say, apply yourself. Have the passion, have the love, have the enthusiasm. You're going to come across people that doubt you. You'll come across people who make you feel like what you're doing ain't worth it. And don't let those words ring echoes in your ear, in your head, and in your heart, and in your soul. Listen to you. Listen to your passion. Listen to those who are actually supporting you from a good place, from positivity, to encourage you. Sometimes that encouragement, like, I know myself, and they've experienced it. It comes, I'm cut and dry with it. I will encourage you. I'll tell you to do this, but I'm brutally honest with it too. But you got to be able to see that if somebody's telling you something, and even in that moment, if it makes you feel like, sometimes it's to make that piece of coal into a diamond. So don't run from the pressure. Don't have the fear of doing the thing, and always dedicate to what you're passionate about. You'll be good. And to anyone who's seeing this or hearing this and you want to be a part of this, feel free to reach out to us, because this show is called A New Age Platform, and the purpose is to bring a different light to artists, to entertainers, to just everybody that wants to pursue their passions on a different level and tell your story the way you want to tell it. You will be seeing us throughout the year doing a bunch of things, whether it be these podcasts, whether it be the different shows, whether it be events, which we have a surprise announcement, and that is that on December 31st this year, we will be having our awards show to culminate from last year's events as well as this year's events, plus the streaming shows we have as well. So it'll be our New Year's Eve celebration, and you're all invited to it. So we hope to see you there. Good night.
It's far from over.